When I was a kid and it was lunchtime at school, a lot of times, for the most part, I would get free lunch. But then there were times when I don't know, what was going on with my mother or whatever. But there were times where I couldn't get free lunch. And it would be those times where I would have to go around to teachers and ask them if they would pay for my lunch. I would have to ask them would they pay for my lunch. And can you imagine the anxiety? First of all, you only get a certain amount of time for lunch, right? You definitely don't want to be asking your teachers for no money for lunch during class. Because one, you don't want to be embarrassed. You don't want the other students to know you don't have no money. Because as you all know, you've been to school, kids are treacherous. I'm spending part of my time trying to figure out who I'm going to ask for this money. The anxiety that I went through wanting a teacher or asking teachers to pay for my lunch. But then as I was listening back to this video, as I was editing, the Lord showed me a different perspective, because what he showed me was I had someone there to ask. That although whatever was going on with my parents, not just my mother, because where was my father? Why wasn't he making sure I had lunch? It ain't just all about her. I mean, although I didn't live with him, he was still my father. He still could have made sure I had my lunch. Everything wasn't just my mother's responsibility. So that's one. That, all these years I made it she should have this and she should have this. But he could have too. He could have made sure I ate. He could have made sure I had money in my pocket for lunch. And he didn't. And I'm not mad at him, because I just, nothing he really does can make me mad at him. But it's a realization that it just wasn't all on her. That's number one. Two, in those times where she was falling short or whatever, or she didn't get the paperwork in, whatever the case, I don't know what the reason was. All I know is I went to school and this was a day I wasn't going to have lunch. But God made sure I did. I'm so caught up on, people going to know I ain't got no money. Oh, they going to know I'm inadequate. Oh, they going to know, that I got less. Child, most people are struggling. Most people, even people who got a lot of money, feel like they ain't got enough. They want more. They feel inadequate with their millions and billions. You see what they're doing to people just to get more money. You see how they're taking money from programs. Now, even though they got money, they somehow, some way need more money than they can even spend. And even to this date, but today is the day I get free. What's important is not that I didn't have the free lunch, or that my mother didn't send me with the money, or my father didn't send me with the money. What's important was, even while I was going through lack, God was providing people who he touched their heart to give me the money to eat. And therefore I wasn't striving. I didn't have to be anxious. I don't have to be anxious now. Because even when I don't have it in my pocket, and even when things are falling all apart, and even when it looks like something is not going to come through, God always made it come through. Even in my adult years, even to right now, even while I sit here and I just waste days sitting, thinking about how am I going to get some money to take care of this responsibility, when I can just take care of the responsibilities that don't call for me to have money. I could just start there. I could just make sure that my house is clean. I can make sure that I cook dinner for my husband. I can make sure that I sit with God and study his word. I can make sure that I handle my emails and my my notifications and my engagement with people. I can steward relationships. I can call people and pray for them, and I can, call and encourage somebody. I can encourage you all. I mean, there's so many things I can do that is not centered around money. No, I don't have the money right now. Do I have gifts that can make money? Yes, plenty of them. I can do hair. I can do somebody's crochet like I did mine. Some people be like, ugh, that's ugly. Some people think this is beautiful. So for the people who think it's beautiful, I could do that. I could do eyelash extensions. I can give facials. I can wax bodies. I'm an esthetician. I can make wigs. I can design clothes. I can paint them and put jewelry on them and put words and letterings on them. And I can help some people with their content creation, or I can set up some websites, anything around all of this media stuff. These are things that I can do, but the truth of the matter is nobody's really like knocking down my door right now to do those things. But the things that I can do, I'm sitting up here just wasting time about a thing that I don't have access to do. Nobody's like, hey, do this for me. But I can do what I can do. Nothing's stopping me but me and anxious thoughts from doing what I can do. I'm spending time thinking about what I can't do. And at the end of thinking about what I can't do, I still won't be able to do what I can't do at this moment. And while I'm doing that, I'm being ungrateful because I can't thank God for a thing that I can't do because I can't do it. Whereas I can shift my focus. Like I could have shifted my focus that, I didn't know about God then, but I can do it now because I was still stuck there. Like, there was no more free lunch for me. I had to beg people. Well, thank God it was some people to beg. Thank God it was some teachers who had a few extra dollars in their pocket that they was willing to share with me, even if I had to pay them back. On that particular day, they went in those pockets and they gave it to me. And even though my time may have been lessened because I spent part of it going to ask a teacher for some food, some money for some food, I still had time left to eat. I did eat. I did. I was able to go back in the cafeteria while everybody else was already sitting in there eating. And I went in the line and went in through the thing. And the people put my food on the plate. I was able to say, hey, I want that pizza, or I want those tacos, or whatever, the meatball, whatever. All of these things. Or I want the cookies or whatever. God was providing. He was. He is. He will. Because I'm his daughter too. So even when our parents fall short, we have the ultimate parent who is always there, who is always providing, who is always protecting, who is always guiding, who is always presenting favor and mercy. This is my story. So I have to acknowledge that God has been good. Even when I had the focus of not looking at what the good was that he did. He's done so much for me. And I'm up here talking about a school lunch because I didn't walk in the door with the money in my pocket. I just disregarded the money he put in my pocket when I did walk in the door. Father, forgive me.